Welcome to the unique art of script writing. My name is Ron Eslinger. I'm a registered nurse, certified registered nurse anesthetist, a master's degree in foreign studies, advanced practice nurse, board certified hypnotist, certified master instructor, and fellow of the National Guild of Hypnotists. I'm also retired from the United States Navy. The objective of this presentation is for the learner to be able to develop multiple techniques for effective, personalized client scripts. If you struggle with client scripting, this presentation is for you. No longer asking others, do you have a script for this? I will discuss which suggestion techniques are more effective in the Arron's 3 levels of hypnosis: light, medium, and deep. We will discuss when to use metaphors, stories, and direct suggestions for a more effective client response. The light level. Hypnosis stages 1 and 2 according to Arron's. The signs of stage 1 are rapport and release of body tension. Signs of stage 2 include physical responses such as heavy and floaty feelings, complete cooperation, and deep concentration. Because of the critical factor, clients that only reach a light stage of hypnosis seem to respond better when using metaphors, stories, and conversational suggestions. Direct suggestions can trigger the no response or I am not hypnotized thoughts. It's like putting a child to bed and saying, go to sleep, or reading them a story as they fall asleep. The medium level of hypnosis are Arron's stages 3 and 4. The signs of stage 3 include complete body relaxation, physical and mental, olfactory and taste changes, a number block, and aphasia. The signs of stage 4 are partial amnesia, analgesia, and glove anesthesias demonstrated in this picture and can be seen on my YouTube channel from induction to demonstration to emergence, and then automatic movements. In the medium level, metaphors and stories should be used, but the response to direct suggestions are also effective because of the literal response of the limbic brain. Remember, the brain works in pictures more than words. As the Chinese said, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Arron's deep level includes hypnosis stages 5 and 6, and the signs of stage 5 are total amnesia, positive hallucinations, visual and auditory, and sometimes bizarre post-hypnotic suggestions. The signs of stage 6 include total anesthesia, negative hallucinations, both visual and auditory, and somnambulism. During deep hypnosis, the critical factor is not interpreting and overriding suggestions. Therefore, the limbic system, which is literal, readily responds to direct suggestions. However, metaphors and stories are still effective because of the hypnosis wave of light to deep, deep to light response. The script is in the client, so getting the right information makes effective script writing easy. Script writing starts with information. Script writing starts with your intake sheet. What do they tell you? And it continues with the basic form, examples on next slide. And this comes from the NGH BASIC course. Examples of interview questions to ask. Their issue will trigger many other questions, but this will get you started. What do you expect to happen today? Make sure you and the client are on the same page. What is your goal, short and long? You want to make sure that that goal is both realistic and believable. What do you do for fun? Let them explain that to you so you can start scripting on the things that they enjoy doing. And what is your favorite relaxing place or vacation? Have the client describe in detail the relaxing place. If it's the beach, which beach? Why do you like that beach? What is it about that beach that allows you to feel comfortable and relaxed? In hypnosis, you simply repeat back to the client what they tell you and add, see yourself as already having the changes you're here to make. See yourself as walking along that beach, looking the way that you want to look, feeling the way you want to feel, as comfortable as you want to be. And very important, why did you choose hypnosis? Do they want magic? I've had many a client expect me to pull out the Harry Potter wand and wave it, and they're disappointed when they find they have to work. With practice, you can turn each of these questions into a positive suggestion and a very visual picture. You can easily add any other questions you want to ask depending on your interview and other things that they tell you. This is the NGH BASIC Assessment and a recent case study of a 44-year-old female, retired military, and these are her words. What is the issue? Pulling hair out. What is your behavior? So what is she doing? Nothing. Her affect or emotions, she is anxious, she is unhappy. Sensations, her physical sensations, none. She wrote down that she was not attractive and had bald areas. What's her imagery? Unattractive. Cognitive, wish I could stop. That's what she says to herself. I will focus on her language, the fact that she feels unattractive, she's anxious, and she's unhappy. Keep in mind, a good hypnotist is non-judgmental when assessing the client's behavior. From what I learned about her from the NGH BASIC Assessment, the case study of the 44-year-old female retired military, in her words, these are the words that I used in her suggestions. She feels unattractive but has done nothing except wish she could stop. I started with, don't wish you could stop, but imagine that you've already stopped. So what did I say for pulling her hair out? That every day your hair is more beautiful. Her favorite place was the beach. Imagine yourself walking along the beach and your hair is beautifully flowing in the breeze. So what is she doing? She said nothing. My suggestion, because you practice calming self-hypnosis and use the My Healthy Affirmation app daily, your hair is fuller and more attractive. She says she's anxious and unhappy. My comment, isn't it amazing that the more you relax with self-hypnosis, the happier you are? She says she's not attractive because of her bald areas. My comment, you may be surprised at how attractive you become when you quit thinking about your problem and visualize yourself as having already become the beautiful person you know you are. Unattractive. You may be surprised at how attractive you become as you see yourself in your true perspective without letting your thoughts get out of control. Think attractive, be attractive. She says, I wish I could stop. That goes right into the Coué law of reverse effect, which states that the harder we try to do something, the harder it is to do, because actions follow thoughts. If she's wishing she could stop, she's actually giving herself the suggestion that she pulls out her hair. I expanded on each of these areas according to other information that she provided. Rodney, glad to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Come on in, have a seat. My name's Ron Essinger. I'm the hypnotist. I'll be working with you today. And if you don't mind, while you're there, I'm just going to kind of lay this blanket across your lap so that you can get snug and cozy and comfortable as we work this. Do you hear okay out of your right ear? Very good. Well, good morning. So you're here today because you want to use hypnosis, or have hypnosis as a part of what I'm looking at here. You're saying that back pain. All right, today what we're going to do is that's going to be the only time we're going to use the word pain. From here on out, we're going to talk to you about increasing your comfort in your lower back and looking at some of those processes. As I look through what you wrote down on this intelligent quotient, you had 9 yeses and 1 no, so that really works great in your favor and our favor working together. And also here you made the comment about some of the things that you're doing already for your back pain. So one of the things that we'll be investigating is the pain is normally or usually a symptom of other things that happen. So what we'll be looking at is maybe some things that have happened in your life that you're kind of holding it in that area. Now this looks good. You said, what am I currently doing regarding my situation, which would be the lack of comfort you're having in your back, would be exercise, yoga, and meditation. I'm very interested in the fact of the meditation. Can you kind of describe how you do that?
Yeah, so I do a form of Vipassana meditation where I just concentrate on the breath and focus on the breath, and my mind wanders and bring it back to the breath.
Okay, that is fantastic. What I would like for you to do is, when you're doing that meditation, is can you remember back to a time, as a matter of fact, when did you first notice that you were having this issue with your lower back?
After an injury on the playground when I was 13.
Wow, so that's been a long time.
Yeah.
So when you had that injury, what happened right after the injury?
Ambulance ride to the hospital, everything checked out okay, and then went home.
Okay, super. So everybody got checked out. We found out you were okay, but you still continued with little flare-ups. So is this constant, or are there times that you don't even notice that it's even ever been there?
It would come and go for 25 years, and then about...
Okay, let me go back to what you said about it would come and go. So my question was, are there times that you're comfortable? So there's times it flares up and there's times you're comfortable. So there are times you're comfortable, right?
Not any longer.
Okay, I'm going to ask my question again. There were times that you were comfortable, right, between the flare-ups?
Yes.
That is right. Can you remember back to when the last time was that you were comfortable?
Yes.
Can you tell me kind of at least a year that was?
Recently, I had a day that it was okay.
Super. How recently?
3 weeks ago, maybe.
Wow. So isn't that cool? So we've gone from it's constant to, hey, 3 weeks ago I can remember having a good day.
Yeah.
So this is what we want to work with and what we want to deal with. So what I'd like for you to do right now is demonstrate to me how you do that meditation, but I want you to add something to it. When you get into your meditation, so that your mind doesn't wander, I want you to focus your mind on one thing, and how comfortable you were that day approximately 3 weeks ago, and get that really strong in your mind, a real good picture, a real good memory of that. And we're just going to do that for a few seconds, so go ahead and shut your eyes and do that. When you've got that picture of how comfortable you were that day and what you were doing that day, then nod and let me know. All right, great. So now you can open your eyes. So that's what we want to start working on. Let your body remember, let your back remember what that felt like. So now the next thing we're talking about is how your behavior about that process. And you talk about being frustrated, aggravated, and irritated. So I wonder, if you weren't frustrated, how would you feel?
Relaxed, calm.
Aggravated, how would you feel if it was the opposite?
Relaxed, calm, satisfied.
What does that mean? What does relax mean to you?
A state of peace, a serenity, a lack of noxious stimuli go into my brain.
Ah, let's forget about the noxious stimuli. Let's stay with what do you want to go to your brain? Peace, serenity, that was the word you used.
Yes.
Okay. What does irritated mean?
Like the princess and the pea. You got that little thing.
I got you covered. So now, isn't it amazing, though, that normally when we have a discomfort, especially in a spinal muscular area, what is it that causes that discomfort? Go back to your word. I asked, what does irritated mean? So usually it means those areas are irritated, right?
Yeah.
And what color would they be?
Red.
Red, yeah. Because we're talking about what? With irritation, we're also talking about
erythema, swelling.
Yeah. So those are the things that we're going to allow you to work with and play with as we do this. What physical symptoms? You say your blood pressure's up, and then that, quote, pain is your physical symptom. What is your normal blood pressure?
Treated or untreated?
Whatever it is on a regular basis, whether treated or not treated.
Okay, treated 130s over the 70s.
Okay, so where does it go to when it goes up?
150s over up to 100.
What would comfort feel like to you? Because you say the physical symptom is pain. What would it feel like if it was comfortable?
Like a deep sigh.
Ah, cool. How do I imagine myself related to my behavior? Worn out is what you said. What does that mean?
I'm just tired of feeling that all the time. I'm just over it.
So let's talk about this. We know that it's not all the time, because you said 3 weeks ago you had an actual, not just moments, but a day that was a really good day. So let's look at, in order to have those days back again, what do you have to have?
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, you say that you're worn out, then you would feel
Rested, rejuvenated.
rested, rejuvenated. So every time you want to go the path of worn out, move yourself back to rested and rejuvenated. Wonderful. What are my thoughts related to this on this basic form is, I wish I could let go of the pain. So let's talk about this. Which is really what you want? Do you want to let go of the pain, or would you like to replace it with comfort?
I would like to replace it with comfort, for sure.
I would like to.
I have a lack of belief that I'm able to. That's a different reality.
Do you want that?
I do want that very much. So.
A lack of belief? You want that lack of belief? Or would you rather have a belief in the fact that you have control? That wasn't a trick question.
I would like to believe I'm in control.
Okay, but you say that with hesitation.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. All right, so let's look at the fact that there are a couple of things I want to find out about you in order for us to move in a direction of getting you to the best results for why you're here. So for this to work for you, you only got to do one thing, and that's just follow my instructions. So one of the things I would like to suggest to you then is, hypnosis is very natural. We go into it all day. A demonstration of that would be, have you ever driven to work and get there and not remember going through these intersections or a certain building? Have you ever gotten there and just not remember seeing those things?
Sure.
All right. That is hypnosis, and that means your subconscious mind is keeping between the lines and not running into the person back of you, while your conscious mind is out there thinking about other things. So one of the things I want to warn you about is, whatever you're thinking, try to keep it towards something you want to happen, not ruminating or worrying about other things. That in itself will make a huge difference in how your back is doing. Let's look at some ideas for writing scripts. And for each that is in this list, I would give an example. Metaphors. Metaphors can come from almost any place. One of my favorites is The Wizard of Oz. And stories. I love telling stories. As a matter of fact, my son got a story every night from the time he was 2 until he was 16. Hypnotic stories. Special places. Having your client close their eyes and visualize and describe their happy place, their calm place, their relaxing place, or even their favorite vacation place is very powerful in you being able to create a script that is very specific and individualized for them. Relaxing place is one of the easiest ways to get a script. They write it, you repeat it. Arron McGill did a demonstration where he handed out a clipboard with a piece of paper on it to a client and said, write down 3 things you want me to say to you. I have found that to be one of the most effective ways of getting information from the client. You'll be surprised how many times they sit there and have no idea of what to write down. Quotes. I'll tell you my favorite quote. There are thousands of quotes, and you can find one that is specific for your client. Fables. Aesop's fables. Using a fable to describe a positive or negative response is fun and easy. Songs. We'll talk about song titles or words in songs and how we can use those, especially for a person who is into music. And of course, from the Big Red Book is Hammond's introductory phrases. This is one of my favorite techniques of just giving me an idea to say something that will take me into what the client needs as a suggestion. And then, of course, movies and book titles. You'll be surprised at how many of your clients are really into movies or into books. And if you're well read or want to Google it, then you can pull out some really good ideas that your clients will respond to readily. Metaphors. As you look into the fireplace, watching the hypnotic yellow flames dance across the logs, yellow representing your optimism for a positive change as your issues go up the chimney in smoke, leaving you relaxed, calm, and at peace. Stories. Plato, while walking on the beach with his protege, the protege asked, "How do I become as great an orator as you, Plato?" Plato placed his arm on the protege's shoulder and began walking into the sea to ankle deep, then waist deep, then shoulder deep. When all of a sudden Plato pushed the protege's head underwater. The protege thrashed and fought with no success until he finally went limp. Plato then pulled him to the surface, and the protege gave a great gasp for air, yelling, "Why did you do that?" Plato said, "When you want success as bad as you wanted that breath of air, you will find success." Your special place. Please take your abdominal breath, close your eyes, and describe to me in detail your special relaxing place. Why is this your favorite place? What do you hear, see, feel, and smell in that place? Now imagine yourself in your special place with the changes you are here to make being complete, so that you look and feel your very best. You may be very surprised at what you can learn from workshops, seminars, conferences. At the National Guild of Hypnotists conference one year, Arron McGill was a guest speaker. And this is where I learned this technique. On the third visit, I have the client write down 3 things they want me to say to them during the session. During concurrent sessions, I can also then reinforce what they asked for or ask if they have something they want to add to it. The particular client is a 38-year-old female, 5 feet tall, and weighs 150 pounds. She wrote these 3 things. Hers are easy to create a script from. Some are very long. Most have negative language. And even some say, I don't know what you want me to write. I don't know what to say. The answer to that is, why are you here? For those who have negative language, I recreate it and tell them how to say it. An example would be, tell me I don't hurt anymore. I would change that to tell me I'm comfortable. She wrote these 3 things. 1, continue to be smoke-free. This statement is the beginning of self-sabotage. So she needs more confidence that she is smoke-free. That statement tells me that she believes her smoking will come back, and that has to be addressed. Isn't it amazing how surprised you'll be when you learn that you can live the rest of your life free of smoking and cigarettes? Number 2, she said walk more. So I asked her to describe where she liked to walk. And I asked her if she had areas in her neighborhood that were off of the streets, which are stressful. The imagery I gave her with that special place where she likes to walk, or helping her create a place, was to use imagery to imagine herself walking free of cigarettes, free of tobacco in any form, and looking slim and healthy, and being in control of all her habits. Number 3, she wrote down, eat healthy with healthy habits. I covered that in number 2 as she's walking, but now I'm going to cover it again. I wonder what type of a visualization that you would create for this lady. To see herself healthy, well, what does healthy look like? And I'll ask her. I did ask her, what does healthy look like? Then create that vision. Describe healthy habits. What would be a healthy habit for you? So she's telling me I'm going to say back to her. With a little practice, you can get so good at this, and it actually becomes fun to get involved in these creative processes. Her 4th and last session, now for the 12th week. I do 3 sessions, 2 the first week, 1 the second week, and then we stretch out for weight and smoking somewhere between the 6th and 12th week. Enjoy. Quotes. I frequently use quotes to explain to the client that everything is a choice, and only they can make the decision to accept the suggestion that will change their situation or not. I have more than 10 books in my library of quotes. It is easy to Google the type of quotes that best meet your client's needs. But my most favorite and most frequently used is by Abraham Lincoln. I say to the client, I want to share with you my favorite quote. Abraham Lincoln said, people are only as happy as they make up their minds to be. I wonder how happy you will decide to be. Very simple and very powerful. A quote worth remembering. I was lucky enough to get to spend a weekend with Zig Ziglar. And he said that if you go to the doctor, he'll give you some pills and you'll probably be better in a week. But if you don't go to the doctor, it could take as long as 7 days to get better. Well, here's a quote that I found that he talks about hypnosis. And it's very true with every client. He said, it is indeed unfortunate that most people hypnotize themselves into getting the things they don't want instead of into getting the things they do want. When my son was in college, I text him a positive quote every morning to start his day. He let me know how much he appreciated. One day I missed a quote and I got a text back, the first text I'd gotten. He said, "Hey, I missed my quote today." That was the first time I knew that he was actually reading them. He is now in the Navy and the quotes are being texted again. Fun for me, fun for him. Fables. The Crow and the Pitcher from Aesop's Fables. A crow, after flying many miles, became terribly thirsty. She searched everywhere for a place to drink, but found nothing. Just when she was losing hope, she discovered a pitcher with a few inches of water in it. At last, she said, "I'm saved." She tried to take a sip of the water, but her beak was too short and the pitcher was too narrow. She considered the problem for a long time. If I break the pitcher or knock it over, the water will spill, and I'll be no better off than before. There must be a solution. Then she recalled a bird bath that was full after a rain. She remembered how the water overflowed the rim of the bath every time another bird landed in it. "Eureka," she said, "that's my solution." She began gathering pebbles and dropping them into the pitcher. With each pebble she added, the level of the water rose slightly. Soon the water was high enough for her to drink. Refreshed, she happily continued her journey. There's a negative space between the crow and the water. Each pebble represents the positive input to replace the negative and allow the life-saving water to flow to the top. You can use Google to get a list of song titles and lyrics in order to use as a part of your script writing. My favorite is "Everything is Beautiful in Its Own Way" by Ray Stevens, especially with people who are depressed, people in pain, people who want to lose weight. Think about the fact that it's getting a positive attitude to find what is beautiful in the process that's positive so that you can reflect away from the negative input that most of us give ourselves. Other song titles, which there are thousands, but here's only about 5. "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles. "What a Wonderful World" by Louis Armstrong. "I Can See Clearly Now" by Johnny Nash. "Walking on Sunshine" by Katrina and the Waves. "Don't Worry, Be Happy" by Bobby McFerrin. It's amazing the beauty that some people put into their lyrics that create the most amazing scripts for the client so that they can look something by reframing it in a very positive way. A person who talks about being overweight all the time is going to continue to be overweight. A person that gets up every morning and thinks about how much pain they're having again are going to continue to have pain. A smoker who says, "I can't quit," will always continue to smoke. Our job as hypnotists is to change their language, get away from the negative thoughts that reinforce where we are and enforce new thinking, new reframing to see what we want, not what we got. But always remember, the brain works in the present tense, and it works in images. I live in the Bible Belt, and one of my clients mentioned a song from a hymnal that she just loved. I went to the church, borrowed a hymnal, and my next session with her was nothing more than me reading the words and then comparing how those words matched what she wanted to accomplish and that was her session. It worked beautifully. So listen to your client, find out what interests them, and feed back how the changes will take them that path toward their goal. Dr. Hammond's introductory phrases. So I wonder, can you complete the phrases below? I keep a list of these phrases just laying out so that I can glance at them and find one that matches my client's needs. Here's some examples. Perhaps beginning to notice that you're eating less and less. I'd like for you to let yourself become more and more aware of how much more relaxed you are. I would like you to appreciate the fact that you are in total control. All that really matters is how you see yourself, how you believe yourself to be. Perhaps sooner than you expect, these pounds begin to melt away. Or perhaps sooner than you expect, you'll never think about cigarettes again. It may be that you'll enjoy being a non-smoker. It may be that you'll enjoy being able to be comfortable. It's very positive and comforting to know that you truly are in control of your comfort, your sleep, your relaxation, and your habits. I'd like you to begin allowing yourself to see yourself not as you are, but as you want to be, but pretend that you've already accomplished it. Perhaps even taking a special kind of enjoyment in your ability to utilize hypnosis for sleep, health, wellness, and inner peace. Now I'd like for you to have a new experience. Allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into this hypnotic state. And I wonder, are you feeling light? Or are you feeling heavy? Or are you feeling nothing at all? You might be surprised to know that you can use these introductory phrases, and there are more than 75 of them in Hammond's book, to introduce different paragraphs from different scripts, even from the Heartland ego-strengthening script. Movies, books, and advertisements. Can you think of a book you've read, a movie, a TV show you saw, or even something from YouTube or Facebook that you can share with your client that is related to their problem? You can if you look for it. So use your imagination to see what you can create, and I know that with practice you can master the art of script writing. My wife likes to watch the TV show Big Brother. As I'm going through the living room one day and it's on, I hear them say, "Expect the unexpected." So with my clients, that is a phrase that I use frequently to allow them to expect the unexpected, expect what they came for, expect the unexpected. The key here is the art of expectation. What do they expect to happen? But within that process, what are the unexpected benefits of hypnosis that they can achieve? Everything from relaxation to sleep better, to feel better, to do better, to be better. Criminal Minds. In the commercial for Criminal Minds, they say, nothing happens until it happens in the imagination first. And that's why the title of my books basically says, hypnosis is putting the imagination to work. Until you can use your imagination to be a good hypnotist, and until your client uses their imagination to see their outcome in the present, it's going to be hard for them to achieve it. Or if they can see it, and when they do see it, and when they utilize it, not a few seconds a day, but minutes and sometimes even hours a day, that imagination is going to start creating with the brain changes in behavior in order to reach that goal that they are here to reach. The Wizard of Oz. I love The Wizard of Oz as a The moral of that story is that everything that Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion went to the wizard to get, they already had. As a matter of fact, Dorothy was already wearing the ruby red slippers that she had to click her heels together to get home. The Scarecrow had to use his brain, his knowledge, to get off of the pole that he was on in the cornfield. He also used his brain to know to lubricate the Tin Man so that he could move and talk. He also used his brain to come up with a plan to get the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West. And then there's the Tin Man who wanted a heart. But yet, through the whole ordeal, he is the one who showed compassion to Dorothy when she was struck down by the witch. And of course, there's the Cowardly Lion, the lion who was afraid. But yet it was his courage who fought off the flying monkeys in order to save Dorothy. All the Tin Man needed was a clock shaped like a heart. The Scarecrow, a diploma from the School of Thinkology. And the Cowardly Lion, a chest full of medals. They already had what they went to the wizard to get. Every client you have already has within them the ability. All you're going to do is show them how to use it. In my book, Hypnosis, Putting the Imagination to Work, I explain that hypnosis is getting what you imagine, whether it is good, bad, positive, or negative. Worry is a negative hypnotic state. The other thing that I explain is the more hypnotizable a person is, the more the chances that they create issues within their life from their own worry and imagination. Once you start looking, you will be surprised at what pops up. What just comes out of billboards, what comes out of commercials. Pay attention. Scripts are all around you, but the most powerful scripts are within the information you get from your ego-strengthening and self-confidence scripts. John Hartland's self-confidence script is probably the best-known ego-strengthening and self-confidence scripts available. I frequently pull a paragraph or a sentence that is specific to my client. Here's how paragraph 2 reads. Consequently, these things that I say to your subconscious mind will begin to exercise a greater and greater influence over the way you think about your problem, over the way you feel about your problem, and over the way you behave about your problem. It could also be read as over the way you think about your changes, over the way you feel emotionally about the changes you're making, and over the way you behave because you have made these changes. There are 4 psychological needs that I use for each and every client. The 4 are love, power, fun, and freedom, or any synonym of that word. Each word can be written into a script to meet the information gathered in the interview. Love also means belonging and acceptance. Things that I have learned that many people do not love themselves enough to feel that they belong and don't accept themselves, the fact that they have to be number 1 before they can help others. When you get on an airplane, one of the first things that they say as the door closes is if that oxygen mask falls out of the ceiling, you have to put yours on before you can help other people. Many of my clients are giving all their energy to helping family members or other people rather than putting themselves first. Power, recognition, respect. A lot of people think power is having control over other people, but it's truly in the psychological needs is the ability for you to have power over yourself, but to receive recognition and to receive respect from others. People who are overweight, people who are smokers, people who have pain always come under the scrutiny of others and feel like they don't have respect and don't have recognition. That's why using a self-confidence script, an ego-strengthening script, and helping them to let go of that issue that is holding them back from feeling like they have respect is so important. Fun, learning, and excitement. Everybody wants to have fun, everybody needs to learn, and everybody wants excitement in their life. However, if they do not have a good self-esteem, if they do not have good self-confidence, this ability to have fun, to be able to get and mingle with others, to feel like they are worthy of doing things that allow them to feel excitement in their life. Take a person who is a smoker. One of the most common reasons that people has nothing to do with health, has nothing to do with money, but it has to do with the fact that it's no longer fun to go out and eat and be able to sit at the table and have a conversation with your friends and have a cigarette. Or go into a bar to have a drink, but you can't smoke. So with these people, they need self-esteem, they need options of what they can do. Hypnosis gives them that, self-meditation gives them that, self-affirmations that are created not in words, but in pictures will handle that situation. Freedom, independence, and choice. I'm always surprised at how many people feel they have no freedom, that they're not allowed to make choices and they're not independent to live their own lives. My entire practice is built around my client making choices. Everything that I say is an option. I never use statements like, you no longer smoke. I will use suggestions such as, I wonder when you'll decide to have had your last cigarette. Or we tell them to have their last cigarette before they come and see us. When did you have your last cigarette? Even though they were supposed to do it the night before, it's always in the parking lot before they come in to the office. Now that was an independence that they took. They had the freedom to do that, and they made that choice. So then the question becomes to make the choice that you have had your last cigarette. Ron's ego strengthening script, which I've also turned into the generic script, and I really used the Heartland script. I took out some of the things that were the negatives in the Heartland script and turned them into a short script that I use with clients. And I've used this since the 70s, and I have found that it's very, very beneficial because it can be used with any and every client. The first paragraph says this: every day you are physically stronger and fitter, you are more alert, more wide awake, and more energetic. Right out of the Heartland script. But to use this for a smoker, you would say, because you've given up that filthy, nasty, killing tobacco, every day you are physically stronger and fitter. Or because you've decided to take off these excess pounds, every day you're physically stronger and fitter as these pounds leave and melt away from your body. Isn't it amazing now that because you're using self-hypnosis in order to manage your comfort, that every day you're physically stronger and fitter. And because you're sleeping better, every day you're more alert, more wide awake, and more energetic. That is the simplicity of creating a script out of 2 sentences. Those of you who email me, ron@esslinger.net, I will send you a free copy of Ron's Ego Strengthening Generic Suggestions. Thank you for being a part of this presentation. This ends my script writing presentation. I am available for questions, but I also want you to know there is information available to you at my YouTube channel. There's over 100 plus videos and audios. And at my website, healthyvisions.com, you can find many free resources I use in my business and hypnosis client practice. There's also a free My Healthy Affirmation, which I use with my clients. It's an app that we created so they can, while at the office, they can create their affirmation they'll be using when home, rather than me giving them a sheet of paper that says, every day in every way I am better and better. Now we can make one specific with biorhythmic music that they record in their own voice. Thank you so much again for attending. I look forward to any questions you may have.